Hey, everybody. Today we're talking about beta testing. Maybe you've heard of this before. Maybe you've even been a participant in it. But today's episode is about beta testing, how to do it, and to see if you actually need it. So that's what we're talking about today. This applies to your services, your programs, your offerings. So stick around.
You're listening to Marketing Tips with Meliss podcast.
Welcome to Marketing Tips with Meliss podcast. And now your host, Meliss-Ep.357.
All right, let's get into beta testing. We're going to do the who, what, where, when, how of all of that. But let's start at the beginning. What is beta testing? Well, let's back up even one step before that, and let's talk about alpha testing. You may not have even heard of alpha testing, but alpha testing is when you're testing your own service and you're working out all the bugs and the kinks and all of that. This is internal testing that you do maybe with your funnel pages, or maybe if you deliver your service inside of a platform, you're testing out all the technology works. So alpha testing is internal testing. Beta testing is external testing. This allows for that exact type of person who will buy your service to test things out along the way as they go. So beta testing is taking a sampling of your target market and running them through your new coaching program to see how they feel about it. And this is the final stage before putting your program out into the market to ensure the highest quality service. What these people are looking for could be something small, like a broken URL or a misspelled word. And it could be something really big and significant, like not understanding parts of the material or skipping giant steps. So let your audience tell you what they feel may be missing. And do you need it? Well, if this is a new offer, then yes, I would definitely beta test your new offer. I test everything that I put out before I sell it at full price to the public. And we're going to talk about why we do that right now. Okay, so the why. The why we beta test, because this provides you with a wealth of information about the effectiveness of your offer, which is what you need to be successful. And you want to look out for the language that they are using. This is going to help you with your marketing copy when you have a sales page or even on a sales call when you're talking through your program and explaining the benefits. You want to use the language that they use, your target market, the feelings that they have and how they describe them. So if your beta testers are happy, what happens is you now have testimonials because they've gone through, they've enjoyed the program, and they let you know that. So now you're starting off with testimonials, which also helps you leverage your marketing efforts and allows more people to see that this program actually does bring success and results. And then other people will want to jump on board as well. Another reason why we beta test is because you may get some information that you never expected to get, and you may never have considered it before, but these people are going through your program and they're coming up with ideas, and you can say, oh, wow, I never thought of that. I definitely need to add that to my program. So beta testing actually helps fill in the gaps that maybe you overlooked. We are not perfect. We can't think of everything. You know the saying, 2 heads are better than 1. Well, what about a whole bunch of beta testers? That's so much better than just you, because you're going to think your program's phenomenal because you created it. But now we want other people to go through it and give us real feedback. This also can alert you if your service may be a flop. Sorry to say that might be the case, but it's better for that to happen now before your service reaches the market, and then you can go back to the drawing board and fix things, than it is to put something out there, people purchase it, and they're unhappy, and you get negative reviews, and then you really hurt your reputation for helping people. And that is what we are here for, to help people. So in the mindset of helping people, let's help them now before we put this out to the public. So what I want you to do is think of beta testing as insurance. It's like an insurance policy for your service. You put so much work and effort into what you create, all of the countless hours and all the times that you had to think about what you were doing and actually putting it together with the technology and all of that, so much effort into what you create. This beta testing will ensure that people actually want what you are offering. And I don't want you to get your feelings hurt if people give you good feedback, because that's actually what we're looking for. And an added bonus is that you'll become more confident in your process and in your service once you have confirmation from real people, real live people who have gone through your program. This will make it much easier for you to sell, because selling really is a lot about confidence, and it'll make it easier for you to sell it at the price point that you want to when the time comes for you to sell this, because you will now know the value of it. So think of this as a test run, a practice round, which will make when you go out into market where it's the real deal so much more easier. Okay, so who is beta testing for? Well, you invite a group of people who are a match for your target market to go through your program and test things out. Don't ask your friends, don't ask any relatives, for two reasons. Because first, they may not give you the full truth because they want to protect your feelings, which is very nice of them, but that is not the point of beta testing. And also, you don't want to ask anyone who's not in your target market. So unless your mom is your target market, I wouldn't ask her. So if you're thinking about asking your mom to be part of your beta test, think again, because you don't want to ask her because she's related to you, and you don't want to ask her because she might not be in your target market. So really think about strangers, people that you kind of know or have been referred to you in your target market. Now, you only need a small number of participants, but make sure that it's enough to get good feedback. That's really, really key. So on my first course that I launched, my online course, not a program, just a course that people buy, it's self-study, I took 10 beta testers because I wanted 10 people to go through. I thought that was a good number. But for my high-level coaching program, my Marketing with Intention program, I only took 4 people. So you got to use your intuition here and see what feels right. But it doesn't make sense to beta test 1 or 2 people, because you might not get, first of all, everyone to finish the program, so then you don't get all the feedback, but you also won't get enough ideas and enough variety in what people are thinking. So figure out the number that feels good to you, and it really depends on what it is you're launching, but you don't want such a small number and you don't want such a large number as well. And you want to ask questions to these potential participants to make sure they're a good fit before you accept them into your beta program, because it doesn't do you any good to take on people that don't fit. So it's okay to say, hey, I'm looking for beta testers. And then once people are like, oh, me, you can say, okay, let me ask you these 5 questions to see if you're a good fit. And if they are a good fit, you can accept them. And if they're not a good fit, you can say, thank you so much for taking the time. At this time, it's not a great fit, but I really appreciate you. Make sure that you're taking on really high quality users. Quality is better than quantity, but quality really is very important in this process.
Do you get so discouraged without the support that you need when it comes to attracting clients and filling your programs? My new program is going to solve that without breaking the bank. For a limited time, you can join my Acceleration Club and gain instant access to my best 3 selling courses: How to Build a Killer Content Calendar, List Building Brilliance, and the Funnel Formula. Plus, you get bi-weekly support from me for the rest of the year with our acceleration calls. Visit accelerationclub.com right now.
When do we beta test? So beta testing happens after everything is complete. Now, keep in mind, it doesn't have to be at the highest quality. This can be a minimal version of what it is you're offering, or you can complete everything and then just don't be so rigid that you don't want to make any changes to it. But after everything is complete and you're ready to market your service, this is the very last step right before launching your new program. As your beta testers are going through your program, you want to make sure to regularly communicate with them, because this is going to help them finish the program, which you definitely want, because you want to make sure they get the result that you're claiming. And it's going to give you good insight along the way as to what they're feeling, what's coming up, what thoughts are going on. So when you do beta testing is right before you launch. And when do you communicate with your beta testers? Throughout the entire process. Where do we beta test? Well, beta testing happens in the platform that you will use to deliver the service. What I mean by that is if your program is hosted in a Facebook group, for example, then you want to host your beta test in a Facebook group. Now, if you're using Kajabi or Thinkific, wherever you're delivering your service, then you would use that for your beta tests. Okay, how to beta test? This is really important. So first, you want to invite people from your target market, either from Facebook groups or referrals or over the phone. And if you already have an audience, you could possibly send out an email to your list looking for beta testers. So it really doesn't matter where these people come from. It really matters the quality of the person and that they are your target market and they're reliable, they're committed, and they're willing to go through the process and test out everything you have to offer, including the result that they get. So if they are truly your target, they will be very happy to participate, because they want what you are claiming you offer. And that is the whole point. We want to know, is your offer actually as good as you say it is? And if they have the problem that your service solves, they want to hop on. So generally, they'll be very, very happy to participate. So let them know how much you value their participation and how much you value their feedback. And I want you to really not get your feelings hurt. I know I already said it, but it's so important that you encourage them to have full honesty, because you have to be able to take that constructive criticism, or there's no point in beta testing, because the entire point of beta testing is for that constructive criticism and feedback. You don't want them to hold back anything, and make sure you let them know that. So let your participants know that you will give them access to your program for free or even a very low cost in exchange for feedback and a testimonial. Now, you can do that in two different ways. We'll talk about feedback in a minute, but you could word your feedback in a way where you can take out pieces of what they say and turn it into a testimonial, or you can ask for two separate things. One, you're going to fill out the feedback form and you're going to tell me things along the way as we communicate. And two, at the very end of the program, you will give me either a written or video testimonial or both. So decide how you want to do this and make sure that it's very clear from the very beginning before they even go through your program. And if you have a sales page, I want you to have them start there so that they can go through the entire process that your client will go through from start to finish. If you don't have a sales page and the way you would normally sign a client is through the phone, then you could do a mock sales call, or you can skip that part and then just start them off in the program. If they have to sign into anything, if there are any emails, like a welcome email series, you do want to provide them with that. So they are going through that entire customer journey from start to finish. All right, let's talk about the wrap up, okay? So at the very end of the beta test, this is where a lot of the communication is going to come through and where you're going to get all of the information that you need that's going to help you improve your program. So here are some basic questions to ask. You can say, tell me about your experience. What did you think? You want it to be an open-ended question. So instead of saying, did you find this program helpful, where the answer would be yes or no, you would say, what did you find most helpful? Or how did this program help you? And make sure that they're sharing a lot of specifics here. You don't want one-word answers. So if you need to ask some follow-up questions, do that, because as much information as you can gather, the better. You can ask, what do you think I could improve on in this program? Or what do you think is missing from this program? Again, no yes or no questions. We want open-ended questions so that they can talk freely. Now, if this is going to be like in a Google form where they're just filling that out, that might be easier on you and you can allow them to do that. But if you were able to set up a phone call with them, you would be able to ask those follow-up questions. And if you do it that way, I highly recommend that you record the call so you can go back as you're gathering up your research. You can ask them if anything was confusing to them, or what would you share with other people who are considering this program for themselves. And then leave them with an open-ended question at the very end. What else would you like to tell me? Or is there anything else that you would like to share with me? Now, once you've gathered all this feedback, you don't have to change every single thing that your participants suggest. But if enough people are saying the same things, or there's a similar idea behind what people are saying, that's a really good indicator to take that into consideration. Remember that the goal is to make it the best service that you can for your target audience so that they can get what they want and they can have that result. So if several people are telling you the same things, hey, this thing's really missing or this part was confusing, you really do need to go back and change that. But if you have one person who's very demanding and like, I didn't like this and I don't like that and I want to change this, take it into consideration and be grateful for the information, but then decide, is that just this person's experience or is this valid? It's up to you, of course, ultimately in the end, but the whole point of beta testing is to serve your audience in the way they want to be served. So take everything into consideration and then analyze the data that you collected and the answers that you received, and then evaluate what it is that you want to do next. And make all of the necessary changes that you've decided you're going to make before you launch. So what's going to happen is you're going to have testimonials, you're going to improve your program, you're going to feel confident, and you're going to know that you have exactly what your target market wants and needs in the language that they need it in. So your program is going to be on fire, which makes it much easier to sell, and more people are going to want to take it. Plus, your beta users are your very first people. So if they loved it, you might get referrals just from that. I hope this helps, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to the Marketing Tips with Meliss podcast at www.marketingtipswithmeliss.com.
Hey, coaches and healers, it's time to feel supported in your business. Head on over to our free community to get access to my best resources for free. I'm talking marketing tips, business strategy, feedback, and so much more. Join now at magneticmarketingmastermind.com. See you there.